Hi everyone, my name is Sylvia. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe if you kind of want to learn a little bit more about how to work with your Cricut and how to make different custom designs for yourself and to sell for people. So today we're going to be learning how to make a Grinch custom stocking design. So I bought this at Hobby Lobby. I just stained it. So I actually bought two of them. One just turned out to be a little darker than the other, which is fine. That's how wood works sometimes with the stain. It just really depends on the wood and the stain. I used the same stain for both, but they just kind of turned out to be different colors, which is okay. So for this project, what you'll need is your wood. So one of these. The next thing you will need is transfer tape. And then you will also be needing your vinyl. So this is Oracle 651 vinyl. I usually order my vinyl from Expressions Vinyl. I can attach the link below so that way you can kind of see. Check their website out and you get $5 off if you sign up. I had to actually buy this one at Michael's or Hobby Lobby because I didn't have this color on hand, but that's okay. We'll work with it. Sometimes crafting is really hard because you don't realize what you need sometimes until you're going to be doing it. Then you have to run to the store to go buy what you need. So sometimes that's a little bit of a pain. But again, thank you all for joining. We are going to get started and I will kind of show you how to work with Cricut, how to use your Cricut, and just go. So for this part now we are going to think about what we want on the boards or on the wood. So what I want for this is the stockings were hung, and that's going to be like my text. And then from here I want something else. So I want the little Grinch's hand holding the stockings, so it looks like that at least. So I'm going to go to Etsy and I'm going to look for, I typed in a Grinch hand and this is the one that I like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to purchase this. So typically what you do when you're looking for an SVG, because you need an SVG most of the time, is you go to Etsy, or you can search anywhere else to look to see who's selling them, and you can purchase that SVG so that you can use it for your projects. So this is $1. I'm gonna purchase this. I'm gonna go back to Etsy, okay, and then I'm gonna go to my account, my purchases, and then I'm going to look at my file. So this is my file that I ordered. I accidentally pressed that. You're gonna put download files. So now you're going to go down here and it's going to show you all of the different versions that you bought. So I bought an SVG, a PNG, PDF, and for the Cricut you'll be using an SVG. If you're going to be doing like printing, you would use a PNG. That's for a different day. If you guys have any questions about that, let me know. So now that that's downloaded, now I'm going to open it. Now I'm going to save it as, and then I'm going to save it as a Grinch hand SVG. Save. Saved on my desktop. Okay, now I'm going to go to Cricut again, Design Space. I'm going to press upload, and it brings me here. So now I'm going to browse in my files. I'm going to go to my quick access just because it makes it quicker for me. And it's right here. Grinch hand. And then you're going to put open. Now I'm going to go to upload. Then I'm going to press it. And then I'm going to add it to my canvas. So now it's going to look like this. Sometimes it comes out really big, but that's fine. This, you can change the size. Okay. So now that we have the wording and we have the hand, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure this just because I need to know how big I want my text to be and how long I want my hand to be for each hook. So we're going to measure this real quick. It's measuring at, whoops, let's see. We'll say 18. So it's 18 by, we'll say 3.5. Okay, so that means I'm going to make this, I probably won't make this 18 just because that is way too big. But what I'm going to do to make my life a little easier is go to shapes. I'm probably going to do this. I'll do this one. It's fine. And then I will unlock this to make that size. So I'm going to do 18 by, what was like 3.7 by 3.7. So this is the wood. We're going to pretend that this is the wood design that we're working with. I'm going to make that black. I'm going to make it brown just so it looks like wood. I'm going to make that white because I want my words to be white. And then I'm going to try to move this. So when that happens, all you're going to do is press your words or whatever and arrange and bring it to the front. So it's bringing it to the front of the, and then we're also going to do the same thing for this, bring to the front. Usually happens, that's okay, no big deal. So now we're going to just play with it to see what size we like. So I think this is a good size. Personally, I like this. It just depends on how you like your stuff. I like mine like this. It looks good. So I have 5 of these. So what I need to do now is really think about how many are going to fit in between each one. So it's going to be a little more complicated, I guess. So what we'll do is kind of just mess with the measurements. Each hook in between is about 3.5. So I'll kind of show you guys that. So you see, you know what I'm talking about? Each hook in between is about 3.5. Oh, or a little further. I guess it just depends. Sometimes they have flaws. That's okay. 3.5 or 4. That's fine. So we need to make sure that we're not going like, we're not making the hands too big or anything. So I'll put that right there. And what I'm going to do next to make it, again, a little easier is I will get a little thing, do that, and honestly, just go 3.5. So I know how far the distance will be. So we'll pretend that one is there. One of the hooks is there, right? So then I'm going to duplicate that and put another one right there because that's where the 3.5 was. Then I'm going to duplicate this. If you guys have an easier way to do it, that's fine. I'm just doing this to show how easy this can be done without, you know, thinking too hard. Then you're going to put your next one. Duplicate that. Duplicate this again. And for this project, there are 5 hooks. So I'll duplicate this again. So that way we can see where the last hook will be. And then I'll duplicate this hand again. And it will be right there. So this is just showing you how the sign will look with the right like distance. They're big enough so they have a good enough space by each other. I think that's perfect. I don't want them bigger because I don't want them to be too cluttered or like hitting the bottom of these letters right here, like the top of the hand and the letters. I don't want that to happen. I think this looks good and this is what we're gonna go with. So next thing we're gonna do is we can finally erase that, but we're gonna make sure that this is welded now. So we're just gonna weld it because we don't want, if you don't weld it, then it cuts, like it'll cut each word individually, as you see right there, like they're not connected. But if you weld it, so if you come right here, you put weld, it just combined all those words together, as you can see, which makes it easier and the cursive looks good. No big deal, no problems. So now we're gonna go to make. Since we're doing 2, I'm just gonna highlight everything and duplicate it because I have 2 signs. So I'm just duplicating and then I'm gonna go to make. Okay, now what you're gonna do is turn on your Cricut. What I was talking about. So this is larger than your usual would be. It blips sometimes. That's okay. Just make sure nothing's touching each other. They're not. And it recommends you right here what mat size you'll use. So I'm using 12 by 24. And then for my smaller mats, I can change to use a smaller mat, but I'm just going to continue to use. No. Yeah, it recommends to change to a smaller mat, which you can do that. You don't have to change it in here. It's fine. And you don't have to mirror anything. So everything is good. You're just going to go back to here. Make sure nothing is touching each other, so nothing cuts over each other. It looks good. We will, let's see, just to double check. Everything looks good. So now I'm going to press continue, and then I'm going to connect it to my Cricut. And I have the air right now on. And then next, so this is what it's going to look like after you lay your vinyl down on your loaded my mat in my Cricut. I'm just going to press it down one more time. I want to cut vinyl on. I prefer vinyl plus just because it gets the best cut for me. It's going to be blinking, and that means you can go ahead and start it. Looks like what it's cutting. We cut the white. We are going to take off the vinyl from the mat. I'm just going to put it to the side right now until I cut it right now. And then the next color on my screen is black. So we are going to load the black vinyl onto the mat as well. You could change it to a smaller mat. It's just easier for me to continue to use the same mat since I already have this one in front of me. So you're just gonna put your vinyl on your mat. I like to really, like I said, put it down and load it into the Cricut, the black. Now I'm going to load in my next color, and on the screen it'll tell you the colors. So make sure to follow those colors because you don't want to accidentally load red when it should be green, because then it'll be confusing.
It's a little bit better than like one of these, and it's really fast. I've seen other people use it. It's really cool. But this is what I have right now, so we're gonna be using this. I'm just gonna be taking out every single. You can hear that the black just finished. As soon as I leave this, I will load my next color in. Oops. Okay, so it looks good. So this is what it looks like when you take out all the inside. You can do that before or after. It's up to you. I do it before, just, I don't know why. I've just always done it before. So now I'm just going to slowly pull the vinyl up and make sure that my letters stay down. Sometimes with cursive, it can be a little hard just because it's so thin, like the pieces. So I'm just going to continue to pull it off slowly. So I did that with the scissors just so that the first word, which was the, stayed in its position and it didn't get pulled up with the rest of the vinyl. In case it, sometimes that happens and it is frustrating. So these are just some things I've learned to do to avoid ruining the whole thing sometimes. Because this is too much to continue to go for me, because I don't want the rest of that vinyl to get caught onto the words that I already have in the clear. So I'm just going to put that to the side, continue to weave this. I'm going to keep going slowly. Sometimes I get too excited and I just like want to rip it off and then I mess the whole thing up, and that's even more frustrating because you can't do anything about it once you do it. You're just going to have to cut it again. Pull it off. Okay. This is what it's going to look like. Gotta take that off. Okay. This is what it'll look like. The stockings were hung.
This is what it looks like. I cut off my little red piece, and now I'm just going to weave it real quick. This is what it looks like. Not the best angle, but it's okay. So I put scissors and tweezers on that end just to hold it down for me. And then I'm just going to lay it on there. It's good like this. Try to get it as flat as possible. And then again, use a squeegee. You're always going to need a squeegee. That's fine. And then you're going to lift it up. And then you're going to transfer it onto your wood. So this is garbage. Now my wooden sign is right here. We can look for a middle, just to make sure that it is, well, this is our middle. We'll use this hook as our middle, because that's the one in the middle, the third hook. And then what I like to do is I like to fold it and really look for where the middle will be. So in this case, I always line up this with the last word, and that's like straight. So then my middle is right here. And I you see the little crease. So what I'm gonna do is put it up as much as I like it. So it looks, my T doesn't go too up and my H doesn't go too up. Like it's just at the top of the wooden piece. Then I'm gonna look at it. Okay, this is fine. I'm gonna lift that up a little bit, leave my H where it is. I'm gonna look at it again. I don't feel like it is. So you're just gonna play around and make it as straight as you like it or need it to be. Okay, that's straight. So now I'm gonna use my squeegee and really, you wanna make sure it's like adhering completely to the wood. But in order for vinyl to adhere to wood, you have to let the stain on the wood set for 24 to 48 hours. For me, it's been around maybe like 32 hours. Yeah, like 32 hours that I let my stain set. So now I'm just gonna continue to press hard because I just want to make sure that it doesn't get ruined when I lift up the transfer tape. So I'm gonna pull it off slowly, and it should come with it. It shouldn't come with it. And as you see, like a little piece came up, that's fine. Continue to slowly. Kind of want to work around the cursive because the cursive is so thin again, it's just hard. But that's okay. So we're going to do word by word. So that is good so far. So now I'm just going to apply the pressure for stocking again. Take it off. It's coming off good. And that is what it'll look like.
Okay, so now that we got this on all nice, and it's flat as you can see, I'm just gonna rub down some pieces, whatever, that I felt need a little more love. I'm gonna take my transfer tape again. I'm gonna cut a little piece, nothing too big, just so that we can work with it. And then what I'm gonna do is, we're gonna start with, we're gonna start with our backing of our Grinch. So you always want to put the layer that's completely flat first. So this is layering. Layering can be a little difficult sometimes just because knowing what order has to go first. But this is like the shadow basically. So this goes first. The outline. It's going to go first. And we're going to peel off. And we're going to put it right where it goes. So I don't know if you can see where this is. The hook. We're going to put it right there so that it can be, the hook can be in between the fingers. So I kind of like it. I'm going to give myself like a pinky room so that way I know how to do the other ones. So I'm just gonna do that. Again, make sure to squeegee it on really good. And I'm gonna peel it off slowly. And peel it off. So I'm just gonna show you how you're gonna layer this since we already have one done, and then I'll go through the rest and you'll kind of see how that works. So I'll just go ahead and do the Grinch's hand first. always want to squeegee it to make sure you're picking it up completely. And you're going to pull it off, just like that. And then what you're going to do is lay it right on top, nice and neatly. So just be careful, because you don't want it to get stuck before you like where it is. So I kind of give it like a little space before I completely lay it down. I think that looks good. So then I'm going to squeegee it down. And then, just be careful not to get stuck like this. And I'm going to pull it up slowly. Alright. And then the next one I'll do the white one. Might as well. Like a little fluff from the outfit. Squeegee it down. Pick it up. And then this is where it goes, right here, right by the wrist. Oh no. You just want to be careful. Because once you attach vinyl, sometimes it just gets stuck and you cannot pick it back up. So like that. Squeegee. Slowly pick it up. And then make sure, you just want to make sure you don't get any air bubbles. So we're doing it so far, no air bubbles. Air bubbles can be so hard because sometimes you just can't take them out. And that's what really sucks. So then we'll do the red. The red piece, part of the like outfit. And then we'll put it right. Make sure it's on the black because that's what that line was for. And there you go. And then we're just gonna pull it up slowly. And that's what it will look like. It looks really good. So now I'm just gonna do the rest. And you'll watch me see how I do them. I think this will help if I want to keep it as straight as possible. So, I want to make sure it's straight and nice. And I think. So let me keep it on now. Alright, I'm going to adjust it. We cut them out, lined up together to make sure that they were like straight and even. But sometimes I just don't want to waste all that vinyl because this was like 18, so it would have been a lot of vinyl, which is fine. If you have the vinyl, go ahead. You can do that, whatever's easier for you. I just have a preference of not. I don't like wasting all the vinyl and scrapping. Like sometimes I have so many scraps and I don't ever use them again, even though we say, oh, I just like we avoid the scrapping or whatever and you put it in there. Sometimes the scraps can barely ever use. So I don't know. For me, it's like I'll work the extra. I'll do a little extra work just to make sure that. Just to make sure that I don't have to like waste vinyl or whatever. So I'm preference. So this one's a little close to the edge, just because that's where the hook was placed, and I got really lucky because it's just at the end where the cut is. It's fine though, we'll work with it, we'll see how it looks. If it doesn't look bad, it should be good. Really the hook placement that I didn't realize.
now that we are done, this is what it looks like. And it is honestly so cool. Look at that. Semi-gloss. Just to seal it one more time.
Just like to go back and forth with it. Make sure you get all the cracks and crevices. Make sure to do it all around. It's going to give it a nice finish, but it's also going to protect the vinyl that we have laid out. You might run out, so you'll need another light coat. It's good for the sole. You just want to make sure you coat it really good, so that way the vinyl doesn't lift. I mean, with both the heat gun and the sealer, this thing is going to last a very long time. But it does dry quickly, so
thank you all for watching and staying for the entirety of the video. I know that it was a while. Crafting does take a little bit of time, not gonna lie. But whatever else you'd like to see, please comment down below. I will be attaching all the links below so that way you can see where I got my vinyl, where you can get the sealer, where you can get everything. Literally everything I use in the video, I will be attaching a link for it. I'll also be attaching my Instagram so you can see what else I make. And then if you're interested in learning how to make one of those things or anything else, please drop a comment below. If I haven't made it, I would love to learn how to make it with you. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe.